You were taught a beautiful lie. It tasted sweet because it was designed to. They told you that being kind would make you safe, that staying open would earn you loyalty, that if you kept your heart exposed long enough, the world would eventually reward you. But look around now. The predators are well fed. The manipulators are calm. And the ones still asking for fairness are the ones being stepped over without a second thought. This is the first truth that must pierce your mind. Power does not respond to hope. It responds to structure. No one respects a man who leaks his pain in public and calls it honesty. No one follows a man who breaks loudly and waits to be rescued. Respect is not sympathy. Respect is gravity. And gravity is created by mass, not emotion. Power is never handed to you by a smiling system. It is taken by those who are disciplined enough to take responsibility for the cost. Like fire, it warms only the one who knows how to contain it. Everyone else gets burned. This is not about healing your wounds or talking endlessly about your feelings. That language was built to keep you stationary. This is about replacing the operating system that has been running your life without your permission. You inherited beliefs you never audited, reactions you never chose, emotional habits that made you predictable, compliant, and easy to read. You were trained to play life like a loyal employee, waiting for approval, waiting for validation, waiting for someone to notice your effort. But permission is a myth. It is a story invented by those already in power to keep potential rivals obedient. From this moment forward, you don't rebuild yourself like a dreamer. You rebuild yourself like a strategist. A strategist doesn't hope. He maps. He doesn't chase comfort. He tolerates isolation. There is no savior coming. No mentor will arrive with perfect answers. No relationship will heal what you refuse to discipline. This path is quiet on purpose. Loneliness is not a flaw in the design. It is the design. And if that discomfort scares you, good. Fear is the alarm that tells you you're leaving the cage. The strategist sharpens himself in silence. While others seek applause, he seeks clarity. While others vent, he calculates. He becomes the storm people sense before it arrives, not the thunder that begs to be heard. This is not motivation. This is a blueprint. An old one. Older than comfort culture. Older than excuses. You cannot build steel on top of sand, and you cannot build power on top of softness. The first demolition is internal. You kill the reflex to explain yourself. You bury the habit of hesitation. You end the addiction to being understood. The new version of you will confuse people. Let it. Confusion is leverage. Silence is camouflage. An unreadable man cannot be easily attacked. Think of yourself like a fortress being rebuilt while the lights are off. From the outside, nothing looks impressive yet. Inside, the foundations are being reinforced with iron. Cross this line, and there is no clean return. You burn the old blueprint completely. The one handed to you by people who benefited from your obedience. They told you to be good, but only when it served them. Be moral, but never powerful. Be agreeable, but never dangerous. And what did that earn you? Rejection dressed up as honesty. Weakness disguised as virtue. A life where you were useful but never respected. If you want to become untouchable, you must destroy the framework that made you predictable. The truth is brutal, but it is freeing. The version of you that feels familiar was designed to be used. Your habits, your beliefs, even your emotional reactions were shaped by incentives that had nothing to do with your future. That version did its job. It kept you quiet. It kept you small. Now it must be retired. Think of it like shedding a skin that once protected you, but now suffocates you. You cannot lead while you're still afraid to disappoint. You cannot command while you crave approval. Burn the false confidence. Burn the watered-down ambition. Burn the compromises you called balance. This is not refinement. This is replacement. You don't need healing, you need reprogramming. Healing keeps the old structure intact. Reprogramming deletes it. Weak men try to improve themselves without letting go of comfort. Strong men erase the board and redraw the map with a sharper edge. Resistance will rise in your chest. That resistance is fear pretending to be logic. Fear always lies when its position is threatened. Your comfort zone is not safety. It is a padded coffin, quiet, familiar, slowly killing everything sharp inside you. The heat you feel right now is not danger. It is ignition. Rebirth is never gentle. It is violent by nature. Either you break the shell or you suffocate inside it. And death is not always physical. Sometimes it's a life that never reaches its weight. This is your first command. Delete the man you were programmed to be. Write it in the ashes of your old identity. Your pain is not your enemy. It is your forge. Use it. Say this to yourself until it settles into your bones. My past self is ashes, not as a wish, as a warning. We are not here to cope. We are here to construct something that cannot be ignored. Control is not calmness. Calmness is cosmetic. Control is ownership. Ownership of the battlefield inside your head. For years, you've been reacting like a marionette. Someone pulls a string. You tense. Someone disrespects you. You flare. Someone withholds approval. You collapse inward. That ends here. From this point forward, you are no longer a man who bleeds emotionally for free. You become sealed. A vault. A weapon with a locked trigger. Powerful men don't announce their strength. They demonstrate it through composure, while others bark, flinch, and expose themselves. The strategist watches. He lets emotions erupt around him like fireworks, bright and useless, then moves when the smoke clears. This is not passivity. This is calculated restraint. Like a hunter who knows that stillness is not weakness, but patience sharpened into precision. Your emotions are not enemies, but they are not rulers either. Anger is fuel, not the driver. Fear is intelligence, not identity. Sadness is depth, not a place to drown. The world encourages men to be emotionally open so they can be emotionally controlled. You do the opposite. You build walls, not wounds. You decide what gets access and what stays outside. Think 5 moves ahead, not 5 seconds behind. A man who cannot govern himself will never govern anything else. Reaction is always a loss. In a world ruled by perception, your greatest enemy is not other people. It is your impulsive self. Here is the law. If something triggers you, it owns you. If it owns you, it controls you. And if it controls you, you are still operating on borrowed power. So you become your own handler. You master your face. You master your tone. You master your silence. Most importantly, you master the pause before you speak. That pause is not hesitation. It is authority loading. It is the moment where you decide whether words are necessary or whether silence will do more damage. Now we go deeper. There is a part of you were taught to bury. Rage, hunger, cold calculation. You were told that part made you dangerous, immoral, broken. That was another lie. That shadow is not weakness. It is unused power, raw material, untamed steel waiting for shape. You do not destroy your darkness. You discipline it. You train it like a blade. You aim it and release it only when the moment demands it. Pain has value when you stop running from it. Every betrayal, every insult, Every failure is not a scar. It is a brick. Stack them. Build with them. Darkness is not the opposite of light. It is the depth that gives light its contrast. You will never be whole until you can look at the part of yourself that wanted revenge, domination, destruction, and say, I see you. I need you. Suppression creates fractures. Integration creates monsters with discipline. The man who pretends to be pure shatters under pressure. The man who has sat with his demons and made them work for him becomes untouchable. Be terrifying, not reckless. Controlled, not soft. The world does not respect purity. It respects power held on a leash. Look in the mirror and look past the surface. See the cold eyes behind the polite expression, the hunger behind the smile. That version of you does not need applause. He needs a mission. When darkness is given purpose, it becomes unstoppable. You enter rooms and the temperature shifts without you saying a word. Loud men begin watching you, not because you demand attention, but because your presence feels deliberate. Stop hiding from the shadow. Step into it and drag it under your command. Make it serve your will. Weak men fear their dark. Strong men weaponize it. You have a war to win, and light alone will not get you there. Now comes observation. Most people move through life blind, not physically, but psychologically. They assume instead of studying. They react instead of reading. But the Machiavellian mind watches everything. The twitch in the jaw, the pause before an answer, the contradiction between words and posture, all of it is data. Train your mind like a sniper. No wasted shots, no wasted emotion. When you walk into a room, you are not there to be seen. You are there to see. Who is insecure? Who is posturing? Who cannot survive silence? Power leaks from those who talk too much, rush too fast, need too badly. You stay still. Stillness is pressure. People reveal themselves when you give them space. You do not intimidate with noise. You disarm with quiet. Real dominance is subtle. Stop needing to be liked and start needing to be aware. Study patterns, not promises. People always tell you who they are if you watch long enough. Does their tone change when you speak truth? Do their eyes dart when you ask for clarity? These are tells. Most people are broadcasting weakness while begging to appear strong. Never assume loyalty. Never assume morality. What you see is often a performance. The strategist knows this. You become fluent in body language, emotional micro-shifts, linguistic traps. You are not paranoid. You are precise. You are not cold. You are prepared. This is not manipulation. This is survival. In a world of masks and motives, you either see the game or you become part of it. You are not here to chase feelings. You are here to extract advantage. Awareness is not just vision. It is armor. You are told to be yourself. That advice sounds freeing, but it's a trap. It only works for men who plan to stay small. In the real world, no one rises without masks. Identity is not discovered. It is constructed. Adaptation is not dishonesty. It is intelligence. Power belongs to the man who can become what the moment requires without hesitation or shame. A strategist understands performance, not fake smiles or shallow acting, but calibrated presence. You learn when to appear generous and when to disappear completely. You learn when warmth buys trust and when distance creates gravity. Think of it like light through a lens. The same beam can warm, blind, or burn depending on how it's focused. You are not lying. You are navigating. You tell people what keeps them calm while you do what must be done. You allow comfort without surrendering leverage. Your smile soothes. Your silence intimidates. Your presence feels intentional, never accidental. This is not about tricking others. It is about authoring your legend while protecting your intent. Every environment is a stage. At work, you become the agreeable ally until leadership is inevitable. In negotiation, you play the fool while mapping 3 outcomes ahead. In conflict, you allow emotion to surface just enough to disarm, while your mind remains cold and operational. The man who controls how he is perceived controls the flow of power. Masks are not weakness. They are armor. Your truth is sacred, not public. Broadcasting intent makes you predictable, and predictability is death to a strategist. Mystery is leverage. The man who says, "I am who I am," has already surrendered to his programming. You shapeshift with precision. Walk into rooms as a blank slate. Let people project onto you. Become exactly what earns the most advantage in that moment. When you're loved, be gracious. When you're envied, be silent. When you're feared, let it breathe. Power is perception, not possession. Choose your masks deliberately. The diplomat when access matters. The phantom when information is needed. The king when decisions must land. Wear them well. Drop them only when alone. Your inner world remains locked. Your outer world stays strategic. Now we draw lines. Ruthless ones. You do not rise by being available. You rise by being selective. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you sell a piece of your power. Every explanation given to someone who hasn't earned it lowers your value. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are architecture. Nothing that is always accessible is respected. Time, energy, presence. These are currencies. Unguarded currency gets stolen. People will take everything you allow, not because they are evil, but because consumption is instinct. If you don't draw the line, they will cross it without apology. From now on, no becomes clean and calm. No tone, no guilt, no delay. When people react badly to your boundaries, that is confirmation, not conflict. It reveals who benefited from your lack of structure. Let them leave. Let them complain. You are not here to keep everyone comfortable. You are here to keep yourself intact. Power demands distance. Clarity offends those who thrive on ambiguity. Weak people confuse boundaries with harshness because they fear confrontation. But confrontation is clarity, and clarity is respect. If your standards offend them, good. Standards are filters. Audit your circle like a war council. Who drains you? Who demands access without value? Who tests your limits with politeness and pressure? These are not inconveniences. They are liabilities. You are not building a motel. You are building a fortress. Only those who bring discipline, loyalty, or growth pass the gate. Even then, the door locks behind them. Your schedule becomes a map. Your energy goes only where it multiplies. Your presence grows rare. Distance creates gravity. Silence increases value. You do not owe anyone access because they remember your name. Your responsibility is not to please, but to protect what you are constructing. Calm eye contact and a firm no carry more weight than 1,000 explanations. Practice it until it becomes reflex. You are not becoming bitter. You are becoming bulletproof. You are not rejecting people. You are selecting your future. From now on, access is earned. Boundaries are law. And with boundaries comes alignment. Stop collecting friends like trophies. Friendship is emotional. Alliance is strategic. Comfort does not build power. Loyalty and mutual benefit do. Most relationships survive on shared habits, not shared direction. That is why they collapse under pressure. You do not need people who make you feel liked. You need people who keep you sharp. Alignment over bonding. purpose over nostalgia. Kings did not keep court jesters close. They kept builders, advisors, and warriors. Ask the hard questions. Who adds to your mission when you are not watching? Who challenges your thinking instead of soothing your ego? Who brings clarity instead of chaos? If the answer is no one, you are surrounded, not supported. One weak link can collapse an empire. Power is built on alignment, not affection. Respect what you build, not how many people cheer you. Cut emotional deadweight. Cut nostalgia. Cut loyalty to versions of yourself you have already outgrown. Walk alone if you must. Solitude is not a failure state. It is a forge. The right allies recognize strength from a distance. You don't chase them. You become visible through standards. Silence is not absence. It is pressure. The loudest man in the room is rarely the one in control. Volume is often a confession. It exposes insecurity, urgency, the need to be seen. Silence, when chosen, does the opposite. It unsettles. It forces projection. It turns the room into a mirror where others reveal themselves while you remain unread. Most men fear quiet because it leaves them alone with themselves. They rush to fill gaps with words, jokes, explanations, anything to escape the tension. But tension is leverage. Silence is a blade that cuts without movement. Held correctly, it does more damage than confrontation ever could. You don't speak to be heard. You speak to shift the energy. Learn to be the last to speak. Let everyone else spill their thoughts, their motives, their weaknesses. Collect the data. Read tone. Watch posture. Feel rhythm. When you finally speak, it should land like a verdict, not a reaction. Few words. Precise. Weighted. Your voice becomes an event because silence is your baseline. People hate a void. If you remain still long enough, they will fill it for you. They confess. They over-explain. They reveal tells they didn't know they had. Let them interpret your quiet however they need. Judgment, confidence, superiority, mystery. All of it works in your favor. The most powerful illusion is letting others believe you know more than you've said. Do not rush to correct misunderstandings. A man who is fully understood is easy to predict. Predictability invites control. Invisibility is the high ground. Power hides. Influence lurks. The most dangerous men are not the ones announcing themselves. They are the ones you cannot quite read. The ones whose motives remain just out of reach. Now we turn to discipline. Long-term dominance always beats short-term pleasure. The man who cannot delay gratification has already been conquered. Pleasure is the softest leash, invisible and effective. It whispers comfort, release, escape. Every time you listen, you trade future leverage for a temporary high. Look at the world around you. It is engineered to seduce you into weakness. Cheap stimulation, instant validation, endless distraction. It is a buffet designed to keep you docile, and most men drown in it, calling indulgence freedom while their edge erodes quietly. Here is the brutal truth. Your future is being negotiated every day in small moments. Every scroll, every indulgence, every time you choose ease over execution. You are selling pieces of your empire for 10 seconds of relief. Most men do this so often, they never realize they've auctioned off their destiny. Power is not speed. It is endurance. The kings who lasted were not the flashiest. They were the most patient. They waited. They starved strategically. They understood that restraint compounds. If you want dominance, learn to outlast. Sit in discomfort while others flee. Hold hunger while others binge. Do not chase pleasure. Command it. When you wake up, your first question is not what feels good, but what strengthens the structure you are building. Your body is fuel. Your discipline is architecture. Your rituals are scaffolding. The gym is not about aesthetics. It is about control. Business is not about money. It is about influence. Strategy is not about results. It is about consistency under pressure. There is a war inside you every day. The king and the child. The child wants comfort now and pays later. The king delays gratification and fortifies the future. Every time you choose distraction over focus, you crown the child. And he will dismantle your throne from the inside. Treat restraint like construction. Every denied impulse is a brick. Every walk away from temptation raises your walls higher. Power is not the prize. Power is the consequence of discipline repeated until it becomes identity. Every pleasure carries a hidden tax. That lazy morning costs sharpness. That empty hookup costs focus. That binge scroll costs momentum. The price is not printed clearly. It is paid in years, respect, and missed leverage. Make this your law. Nothing owns you but mission. Not lust, not ego, not distraction. You walk past temptation not because pleasure is evil, but because you are too focused to be pulled. You build in the dark. You bleed in private. You arrive when it matters. Delayed gratification is not punishment. It is the signature of high-level men. The world calls it boring because boredom terrifies those who need stimulation to feel alive. Let them chase highs. While they binge, you build. While they sleep, you sharpen. While they escape, you stack legacy. One day you will feel the shift, not through applause, but through presence. Rooms will quiet when you enter. Decisions will tilt in your favor without argument. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens through thousands of invisible choices no one applauds, but everyone feels. Write this into your bones. Pleasure obeys your discipline. This is no longer motivation. This is identity. You are not here to play. You are here to construct something that outlives moods, trends, and applause. Many men believe there is an end point, a moment where the work is finished, money earned, respect secured, demons defeated, peace achieved. That belief is the final sedative. There is no finish line. There is only evolution or decay. The moment you stop building, the environment begins dismantling what you've created. Comfort does not rest. It hunts. Comfort is the assassin that wears a friendly face. It tells you you've done enough, that you deserve to slow down, that vigilance can wait, and men who listen to it rot quietly, bloated on yesterday's wins. The strategist understands something colder and more honest. The game never ends. It only changes shape. Threats evolve. Enemies change masks. Temptations become more refined. The crown you earn today will be tested tomorrow. The world does not care who you used to be. It measures who you are becoming. Every morning asks the same question without words. Will you defend your standards, or will you negotiate them? You do not defend power with noise. You defend it with consistency, with systems, with rituals that do not flinch when motivation fades. You think you've done enough? Good. That means it's time to raise the bar. Past victories are irrelevant on new terrain. Achievement is not a rival. Confusing the two is how men fall. Stay hungry even when you are full. Stay sharp when there is no immediate threat. Stay cold when life tries to soften you with comfort. Power is not a one-time act. It is a pulse. It must be fed daily with discipline, vision, and ruthless maintenance. Others will retire into ease. Let them. You were not built to rest. You were built to reign. And reigning is not sitting on a throne. It is operating with precision when no one is watching. It is showing up when there is no applause. It is holding the line when quitting would be easier and no one would know. You no longer need motivation. Motivation is for men who still negotiate with themselves. You need a code, something written into your nervous system. Non-negotiable, immune to temptation, unmoved by mood. Let them call you obsessive. Let them mock your silence, your solitude, your systems. While they chase balance, you pursue dominion. While they ask for ease, you demand standards. Do not confuse movement with mastery. Grinding without direction is just exhaustion. Refinement is what separates builders from laborers. Be strategic with your hours. Build durability, not just output. Longevity beats intensity. The long game belongs to the man no short-term impulse can touch. You must reach a point where you can look in the mirror and know this. If everything collapsed today, I would rebuild faster, colder, better. Because the tools are internal now. The mindset is forged. Weakness no longer negotiates. You have become the weapon. Weapons do not panic. They execute. That is how you know the transformation is real. When nothing external can destabilize what you've built inside. And even then, you keep sharpening. Not because you hate rest, but because you respect the cost of dullness. A blunted edge invites attack. Even in peace, you remain poised, not paranoid, prepared. This is power management. You are not here to survive. You are here to outlast, outthink, and outstrategize. That requires recalibration daily. Every morning you rebuild the kingdom brick by brick, not because it vanished, but because strength decays without maintenance. And maybe one day, without trying, you become a symbol, a blueprint others study quietly, a presence whispered about in rooms you never enter. But that is not the goal. The goal is inner domination. Mastery over chaos, the ability to remain sovereign regardless of noise, pressure, or praise. Because the greatest enemy never lives outside, he lives within. The voice that seeks comfort, the impulse that wants release, the ego that wants recognition. You defeat him daily, or he dethrones you silently. Here is the final truth. The game never ends. And that is your advantage. Weak men search for finish lines. Strong men search for the next refinement. Not because they love destruction, but because they understand evolution. Pressure sharpens. Resistance reveals. The climb reminds you who you are. Pain is not punishment. It is sovereignty training. Say this and mean it. I am the storm in human form. Not chaos, control, focused force, weaponized will. If this awakens something in you, act like a strategist. Do not celebrate. Do not announce. Integrate. Build. Enforce. This is not motivation. This is war. And wars are not won by those who feel inspired. They are won by those who remain disciplined when inspiration disappears. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be unforgettable. And before you leave, carve this into your mind. No one hands you the position of dominance. There is no signal, no ceremony, no dramatic moment where power announces itself. There are only quiet days, cold decisions, and the choice to uphold discipline when no one is watching. Real power is not loud. It accumulates. It waits. And when it moves, it does not ask for permission. Do not seek validation. Do not seek comfort. Seek precision in action, ruthlessness in standards, and silence in victory. The world does not need to know who you are becoming. It only needs to feel it when you enter the room. From this moment on, you no longer live by emotion. You operate by law. And that law has one purpose only: to build a man no circumstance can break.